We're gonna talk about this a lot, but this here Pokemon Presents seems to only be 20 minutes long. I hope Totodile's in this. Rather, I hope Stunfisk is in it. Are they getting out a remake of Pokemon Channel?
Today, February 27, is Pokemon Day.
Woo! Scarlet and Violet 2, baby, let's go! And I think next year's the 30th anniversary, right? That can't... No, because it was...
29 years since the birth of Pokemon.
Oh, fuck.
And we've reached this milestone through the support of all you trainers around the world.
That's why the next game is the final Pokemon game. No more after that. Alright, this is the Netflix show.
Netflix series, Pokemon
It's the Netflix series, Pokemon Concierge. I watched a little bit of this. I don't know why I didn't watch the rest. Oh boy, I hope it's...
Take a first look at a few of the Pokemon they will meet in this motion test footage.
Oh, I thought he was... Okay. It's stop motion. I thought he was on a leash.
But there's more. You haven't been able to tune in to Pokemon Concierge yet. And
before they disappear? Oh, from YouTube. Well. We're deleting the show. Lost media. Okay, Omega and Alpha. Are these Pokemon cards? Because there's not a video game that looks like this. Oh my god, are they gonna remake? Oh, EX. Yeah, are they gonna remake Ruby and Sapphire? Why the fuck would you start the trailer? Like, I knew it wasn't, but like, why would you start the trailer? Unite! Give me Pokemon Unite! Close. Come on, Pokemon Unite. Alright, Pokemon Sleep and Pokemon Unite, and then the Presents ends. That's right, we're making Darkrai real. If you get good enough at Pokemon Sleep, we're gonna release Darkrai to give you nightmares on purpose. We're gonna put you in a coma forever. Banish the nightmare. You know what's strange? Of all the Pokemon they market Pokemon Sleep with, I haven't seen a single Drowsy or Hypno ad. I think I probably know why. It's because everyone finds Drowsy and Hypno really creepy scary. That's like the Pokemon that makes you sleep. I also haven't seen a number of No, I've seen Jigglypuff. Alolan Raichu, Alcremie, and Suicune, of course. I love Pokemon, but you can't trick me into playing League, alright? I know better than that. And I love Valve games, too. And Valve is also trying to trick me into playing League. I don't think so. Alright, now real video games, right? Now with 15 minutes left, we do real video games? Nope. Okay. 10 minutes in, we'll do real video games. I have been doing... Oh, I should pull my card, my pack, because it's, I gotta do my dailies. Holographic Darkrai, Wash Rotom, Poochyena. It's not the Poochyena I had as a kid, which is that he was ran over, and Obama Snow. And Murkrow. I'll take it. I like all those mons. What is this? Is this genuine TCG? Like, not in the video game, but in the real? EX. Holy shit, they're making EX cards now? Oh. Now, why would they be bringing back Megas? Suspicious. They're releasing one card. They made one of this. There's one card in existence. Mega Evolution is coming. Oh, Pokemon video games? We're only almost halfway through this. Perfect.
In the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet,
no fucking way.
We're celebrating Pokemon Day with a Rotom phone case giveaway.
I'm okay. I might get that phone case, though. I really thought they were going to announce a second epilogue. Just keep stretching Scarlet and Violet out as long as you can. Now?
Next, please have a look at this video.
Now look at this. All right. Smash reveal. Pokemon Stadium 3? Well, technically Pokemon Stadium Gold Silver is Pokemon Stadium 3. But that's our version of Pokemon Stadium 2. Battle Revolution mentioned? 9/11. Ah! Sorry. Are they doing a Pokemon emulator on your phone? What? This is fucking crazy. Wait, what is this? I mean, I guess it's only a matter of time before they made like a... I don't think it'd be a full RPG, but like maybe Stadium-esque Pokemon battles on your telephone? Pokemon Champions. Now in development? Okay, so it's a Stadium Battle Revolution-esque game. That's cool. Hopefully we could transfer our Pokemon from other series.
What's more,
okay, there we
you can
go.
Also connect with Pokemon Home.
That's fun.
Thanks to this connectivity,
I'll just get my previous teams and see if I can go through Pokemon Champions with like all of the teams I ever got to the Elite Four with. So wait, is that solely an online-based game? Oh, that's kind of disappointing. Well, I'm definitely not going to win then. I was hoping he would have a campaign.
Here's the latest update.
Okay.
Pokemon Legends.
How much time we got? 6 minutes. Make it count, baby. Above all else, I just want... Did that... Sorry. I'll analyze after, but did that just pop in? This is a good middle ground. I don't know. I kind of like the trainer designs of Sword and Shield. That rules! Those are two of my favorite starters. Oh, but which will I decide? Those are two. Fuck Cyndaquil, man. This is gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna have to play this game twice. What are you flying? Wait, what the fuck was that? Oh, your rival picks the Pokemon weak to you, huh? The only Pokemon that aren't currently in a Pokemon game where you can't transfer in, other than like the spin to discrepancy, are, I think, the Monkey line. I don't think those are any new Megas, but I'll look back at it. Well, let's see if they announce any new Megas. Oh, would you look at that? The Eternal Flower Floette. Hey! All right, release date, come on. Tomorrow.
You'll meet 3 Pokemon, one of which will become your first
It's
partner.
so funny that it's the Johto starters except for Cyndaquil. Do they all get an alternate final evolution? That would kind of rule, because I think they all, even though I really like Emboar.
The hotel where you'll be staying is run by AZ. You'll
Oh!
also meet his partner, Floette.
Sure. This looks like one of those fucking, especially with the UI in the bottom, one of those like, oh, what if Pokemon was a modern game videos from like 2010. I'm just looking out for the monkeys. Where are the See No Evil, Speak No Evil?
These moves can have a longer or shorter reach, or different areas of effect. So choose your timing.
That actually is really cool.
The upper hand.
I think. It might just be like clever editing. This looks like a fake video game.
Certain Pokemon
like, I'm not saying it's bad, it just looks like what someone would, like, I'm gonna make the next Pokemon game. Hey, you know that all the Megas form X's or Y's?
Pokemon will await you.
Ooh, Zygarde Cell. That's gonna be the collectible, like how the,
Legends ZA.
late 2025.
Coming late.
Hello? It's a promotion. I don't know what that, I don't know enough about Pokemon to know what that, oh hey, you gonna explain it? Longtime Cyndaquil fan here, going to cry until we unlock new natural water formation. Brother, Cyndaquil was an Arceus, having it in both is greed. But it's weird that it's 2 Johto starters. And not like, cause in Legends Arceus it was, what was it? It was fucking, a Johto starter, a Unova starter, and a Lola starter. They did Unova and Johto again. Oh, no love for Litten? Oh, wait, no, I guess, no, instead of Tepig. No, Tepig was the, okay, so no love for, what's his fucking name? The little seal fucker. Why do I not remember his name? Poplio. No love for Poplio? Can't make a new fucking clown evolution? I'll take it. I love Johto. It's my favorite generation. That is the image I saw while I was posting my tweet, so I thought that we would get maybe something Johto related. But this, I feel like this kind of tempered my reaction of ZA. Well, let's discuss, shall we? Hold on, let me get my good friend in here, Poplio. Let me call my good friend Poplio real quick, and then we will analyze the trailer. We still got extra time left over. Hello?
Poplio.
Poplio, yeah, no, I've heard. Yeah, the people are letting me know that it's Poplio. Okay, so you've already watched the trailer. What did you think of the new characters getting added to Pokemon Unite?
Dude, that was pretty great. I'm kind of excited for Suicune. I've never played Pokemon Unite my entire life.
Yeah, and now you never need to.
Game ever. What do you think of the the kind of like
the stadium-esque?
It seems to me like a Battle Revolution-esque game.
Yeah, but it also seems like it's just Pokemon battles, which I know is the pitch, right? Rather just like online Pokemon battles. Or like, oh, you could transfer your Pokemon in. They're doing this so like they could open it up for more people to, one, instead of playing Showdown and like grind it out, because people have fucking chess on their phone. And they host the Pokemon World Championships every year. And if that's just battles, I think they're going to focus on making that game, this is going to sound tantamount for fucking a Pokemon game, but make it look as best it can. So when you're watching the Pokemon battles, they look a lot better and probably run a lot better. If they're like, I think they were doing doubles in there. But
yeah,
for me, I would like a not necessarily a story, but like some form of campaign or challenge like that of Stadium or Battle Revolution. I hope it isn't just strictly online battles.
Yeah, same, although I'm not exactly like holding out too much hope.
Yeah.
I think what they're going to do with it is it's going to be kind of like a separate kind of entity for hosting like competitive battling and stuff like that. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
And so like I guess you kind of like it's kind of where like VGC games are going to be done at tournaments and stuff like that. And I think because they showed off Mega Evolutions there, they were kind of teasing us. I think like that's either like insight on like further rule sets of like Gen 10, or they're gonna have different rule sets in the game that are like align to whatever like specific like regulations like each gen has. So like,
yeah,
for example, some gens have Mega Evolutions.
It's strange that they're like doing this game as it's got two arms. It's both like, oh, we want this to be accessible to everyone, even on your phones. We want to open up the Pokemon world to as many people as possible, while also like going towards the more competitive aspect of it. Because like most people that play Pokemon, I'm not saying like it's, a weak Pokemon, strong Pokemon, but I'd say like the average Pokemon player does not play competitively or like even do online battles at all. They just like the Pokemon aspect of it. So like it's interesting to try and find a middle ground between those two where it's like we want everyone to access this. You can have it on your phone. Your fucking little cousin can have it. And also prioritize like, online ranked matches. Seems strange to me.
Especially because like more likely than not, it's going to be free. I think I would be surprised if it's not free because, it's going to be on the phone. I mean, there might be some like elements of
That's a good point.
Subscription or something like that. I don't think they're going to like have an iOS game with a $70 price tag or something.
I never thought about it. No, you're right. Like as soon as you said free, I'm like, there's no way they're doing that. But no, you got that. Like is a good point. If it's on the phone, very few iPhone games are even above like most of them are free.
Yeah, and that's one reason I'm like not actually that sure if this is gonna have like a lot of the bells and whistles people are thinking it's gonna have. Because I think a lot of people are like making the showdown comparison and thinking that it's gonna have you can kind of like make your own Pokemon, kind of set their EVs and IVs and abilities and moves and stuff. That might be possible.
Should add super training back.
It might. Yeah, no, I love super training.
Just tap on your phone.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's literally just like a way for you to transfer your Pokemon in from like what's it called, Pokemon like Bank or whatever, Pokemon Home. And that's one thing I'm kind of worried about because like it might have like a similar thing to Battle Revolution where like you can either use like rental teams or whatever or your own Pokemon, and your own Pokemon are obviously going to be good, and then the rental teams, at least the base ones, are like dog shit. It's just like all like middle stage Pokemon. Like one of the Battle Revolution teams was like Grotle, Prinplup, and like Monferno. Obviously like not the kind of stuff that's going to be used in serious play. I mean, one thing I know that a lot of the new games have is like people can like upload their own teams as like under codes or whatever, and you can kind of borrow other people's teams. That might be an avenue for like serious play, because I mean, admittedly, I love Pokemon. I don't have the patience to like put in the effort it takes to like set up a Pokemon in an actual game. For like perfect IVs, your desired Terra type, your desired moveset, and also like all that stuff. I mean, it's like a nightmare. It's like dozens of hours for one Pokemon. Sometimes.
It's how I feel about like Smash Bros. Other than like Ultimate to a certain degree, is that like I really like playing it. They're some of my favorite games, and I really love watching it competitively and like following it. But I don't need to be involved. Like I can just I'll watch from the sidelines. But if it is free to play, and you said like maybe a subscription service. I mean, Pokemon Home is already a subscription service, so I think what they're trying to do with this game is like sell Pokemon Home to people. I hope it's just that game, but it has a lot of banner ads, and every time you lose, you have to watch a 30-second ad. That's how they recoup their benefits. But
do the Pokemon like iOS games have ads? I actually don't know that.
I don't think so. They have microtransactions, but
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, a lot of them. But maybe that'll be it. Maybe you can purchase like rental Pokemon with you could buy Wolfie's team for like $5.
Either that, or I think what might also be likely is they might just be banking on people buying the games and kind of using that to like transfer their Pokemon in from the games or something. Like that. I think that's also like not super unlikely. It would make sense.
I feel they're kind of starting from scratch when it comes to transferring Pokemon, because if you already have Bank on your 3DS, then you could transfer your 3DS Pokemon up. But if you don't, then like those Pokemon are just on your 3DS forever. And they're probably leaving that stuff in the past because they got an influx of players that went from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Let's Go, and then Sword and Shield was like their best-selling game next to like Red, Blue, and Yellow. So I think like everything before that, they're like, that doesn't count, that's not real. Now that's why I was watching the Legends ZA trailer, and we could like go over it again with bated breath, because the Patrat and Watchog were in there. I think the only Pokemon that aren't in a Nintendo Switch game, and this is the final Pokemon Nintendo Switch game, because it didn't say the Switch family of systems. It said Nintendo Switch, what makes it even more interesting that they said it's coming late 2025. So do you think this is going to be
the Switch 2 for a while then?
Well,
did they say 2025 for the Switch 2?
Yes.
Or did they say...
Or
okay.
This is classic Pokemon where, because if you remember, like, I remember I pre-ordered the 3DS and then I got Pokemon Black and White, or maybe I got the 3DS and then I pre-ordered Pokemon Black and White, or maybe it was Black and White 2. And I remember playing those games on my 3DS. Like, all of my memories of Gen 5 are on my 3DS, because it took them a good couple years to make their first Pokemon RPG for the new console. And then their first Pokemon game on the Switch, if you call Let's Go a traditional game, that was the second year of the Switch's lifetime. So I don't think it's impossible. And also, I think, didn't Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, was that 2017?
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon were 2017.
Yeah, that's the same year as the Nintendo Switch. So I don't think it's impossible that they release the newest Pokemon game not on the newest hardware. They've actually done it quite a lot, except for maybe like the DS. I think they were pretty much on top of that. But that was like a decent carryover. Like the main difference from Game Boy to DS is like, oh, you could have 3D models, and they kind of did that with some of the like buildings, but not really. Like it was still the grid-based format. But
it's still primarily sprite.
Yeah, late 2025. I was honestly like fearing a little bit that they'd be like, it's coming out in March. But
yeah, same. I was like thinking like, ooh, maybe they're gonna like do some crazy
because I was letting the internet convince me a little bit, and they're like, oh shit, what? Because I saw on the trending it was ZA, and then right below it was Gen 10, and I'm like, fuck, what if they do like the Scarlet and Violet thing where the Legends game comes at the beginning of the year, and then the end of the year is like a new generation, and every time there's a new generation, I do a video on it, and I already have like my November video planned out, so I was like, okay, now I can keep doing that. But I guess Gen 10 is probably next year, and that might be the first Pokemon game on the Switch too, probably.
That's what I would expect. Yeah.
But because they saw the biggest increase of Pokemon fans like in the Switch era, they're basically acting as though all the stuff before it, like, yeah, it's fun nostalgia or whatever, but you don't need to transfer those Pokemon up. Those will stay there. I luckily already did 1, back up all my Pokemon, and 2, transfer all of them. So I got all my Pokemon, except for my cosplay Pikachu. That guy's just going to rot there forever.
I don't think it even works in the later games. There's like
well, you can't transfer the cosplay Pikachu up. Like, it's trapped in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I was watching the ZA trailer with bated breath, because the only Pokemon that aren't currently in a Switch game, if we want to have all the Pokemon together, are the Pan line of Pansage, Panpier, Panseer? Panpour, sorry. And the Watchog line, which we saw in there. So it's really just those 6 monkeys that aren't, and you can't transfer Spinda in. You can catch Spinda in Brilliant Diamond and transfer them out, but you can't. It's because in Brilliant Diamond they switched the pattern on accident. So if you put your Spinda into Brilliant Diamond, it would have the opposite pattern, and it would like mess up the game. So they made it so you cannot transfer your Spinda. So I hope they fix that and put Spinda in something, because all of my Spinda and all of my elemental monkeys, other than like obviously Infernape, Grookey, all that stuff, are currently in Pokemon Home. I hope they're in Pokemon Champions at the very least.
That's also another thing I'm thinking about, is like actually the Pokemon Champions thing, is that like I'm not sure how the rules are going to be done, because I mean, ever since Gen 8, and everyone has their opinions about it, even I have my opinions about this.
Sure.
Like they've started limiting the amount of Pokemon in the games that can be actually accessed and used, limiting the moves that can be used. So I'm not sure what Pokemon Champions is going to align to. I mean, if it's something they intend to keep using for the foreseeable future, like, I don't know. I mean, as I said, we saw terrestrialization, we saw Mega Evolution, so I'm genuinely curious. I think I said earlier, maybe there are like alternate rule sets. You can play like Gen 9 style, Gen 8 style, or whatever. Like, that might be it. But even then, I'm kind of curious, like, how that would fit into like main game Pokemon. That's actually really talk.
I want to go through this ZA trailer a little bit with a fine-toothed comb, because you already how do you feel about the starters, by the way, of the 2 Johto starters and also Tefe?
I think it's very funny that we're getting 2 Johto starters instead of like 3 from each gen. I was
Yeah.
assuming it was going to be one from each gen because
Yeah.
like that just seems a little bit more, what's the word? I guess kind of, it seems a little bit more in the spirit. I don't know. Like
this is the first Pokemon game for me since like, I don't know, maybe like the first one I've ever played where what starter I choose is actually going to be a tough decision for me. Because I really love Totodile and Tepig. I don't care for Chikorita, as most don't, which is I imagine why they are probably going to give them... Do you think they're going to get alternate final evolutions like they did in Legends Arceus?
No, I don't think so at all.
You don't think so?
I think they're going to get Mega Evolutions.
Ooh, okay.
I think it's one or the other they're getting, and I think it's going to be Mega Evolutions.
That makes it even more strange that... Oh, it's like only the Hoenn Pokemon, or only the Hoenn starters, only the Kanto starters, that it would be just 2 of the Johto starters, and then 1 of the... Mega Emboar sounds fucking rad. I can't imagine it would be that different from Mega Blaziken, though, unless... Has there been any Megas that change type? They all change type, right? Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, Gyarados immediately popped in my mind. I understand why, because we're not doing the ancestor thing anymore. This is set after the events of X and Y. But I think what was fun about the protagonist and all the characters really from Legends Arceus is that they all looked like previously existing characters. So like she's kind of got a Serena hat a little bit, but this is like a completely separate character. This character also looks like a little bit older than the character we normally play in Pokemon, which I think was the case for Legends Arceus, because that takes place like after the events of Diamond and Pearl. Then you like fall in a wormhole and fall back. Your character's supposed to be like older, but she's got the Zygarde jacket on. I'm seeing a lot of characters standing on the side of the sidewalk, because say what you will about Pokemon, their trailers look very iffy, but they do show gameplay footage. Like, it's in-game. Yeah. So if the shit looks fucky, you know what you're getting. So we can actually look at this and be like, this is how it's going to look in the game. Do you think these are going to be more traditional? Because I think what my biggest problem with Scarlet and Violet, above like character designs maybe, is that all of the trainer battles aside from like the league were entirely optional. Like you have to go up to the person to battle them. There's no like exclamation point like, hey, I spotted you. And I feel like that's kind of missing. The fact that like I had to go and comb through the grass to find trainers I haven't fought before. Yeah, these characters look a lot taller. Or maybe that's just how the Pokemon kids look now, but it looks at least like a teenager. This Lumio City cannot be as big as Legends Arceus, but I hope
probably not.
The what they make up for that in this game is that it's more dense, is that you can go into most of the buildings. But then you can't really get Pokemon in there.
Yeah, I'm not super optimistic in the sense of, like, I don't think you're going to be able to go into that many buildings, but you probably will be able to go into some.
Yeah, this is the,
I think we saw the interior of a couple buildings already, but not many.
What's the, what is this called? Not the battle, the one that Ingo and the other one are from in black and white, but the Kalos version of that.
Oh, like the battle? I forget what it's called, but like, it's like the train station, right?
Yeah. This looks like that. Well, actually, this looks like a shopping
has
center.
The Battle Maison.
Right.
That's like in a wholly different city.
Right, and it's like velvet.
Yeah, I think this is just new. I think it's just new, to be honest.
This might be, if we can computer enhance, they might be like clothing stores? Maybe they went back to selling them all separately. Like there's the hat store and the sock store and the bag store.
I'm not a fan of the art style, to be honest. Mostly because I think, well, honestly, I don't really like how the people look in the kind of like Gen 9 Scarlet and Violet art style.
Yeah, it looks more like Scarlet and Violet than it does like Legends Arceus. And I think this is why, like, this is kind of disappointing for me, is it doesn't look... It looks more like it's going in the direction of Scarlet and Violet. Like, instead of those being 2 separate series, they're go like, okay, Sword and Shield was an evolution, and then Legends Arceus was building on top of that, and then Scarlet and Violet was building on top of that. Instead of splitting them off into 2, this seems more like a follow-up. This looks like what Gen 10 would look like. And I can't imagine Gen 10 would, like, look that much better.
Yeah, that's true. Because I'm thinking to myself, well, I think what I really liked about Legends Arceus is that like there was this whole like cell shaded art direction.
Yeah, it looked like airbrush.
It kind of looked airbrush. There was just kind of like a more kind of like fun visual direction for me. I like the like Meiji Japan. I think Meiji. Kind of like theming of it. That's why I also just like the fact that it took place in the past. I'm a little bit bummed that this game takes place, you know, like seemingly after X and Y, because I think I kind of like the idea of it taking place in like turn of the century, like kind of like something like inspired by turn of the century France.
Yeah, the Industrial Revolution a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know it just seems to be kind of like just general.
It's modern. It just looks like Pokemon. Scarlet and Violet. I think this could maybe be your Pokemon. I mean, we know your Pokemon can run with you, but this next scene where they're eating together, I feel like that's probably a cutscene because the camera's set up in a way that like wouldn't be in the game. Maybe you can. Maybe this is Was there like an eating mechanic in Legends? There wasn't, right? Because like no curry or sandwiches. I feel like this will be that. Like you can eat a dish with your Pokemon and it'll raise one of their stats or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the same scene right now. What it might be, it might just be something like that. Like, oh, would you like to go to this cafe with your Pokemon? Oh, now your Pokemon has like slightly faster egg hatching chance, or your team has better egg hatching, or like more experience.
I'm hoping
or, like, slightly heightened attack.
My chat says I'm hoping for a haunted house with ghosts and dark types. I hope we see the horde of faceless men. Above all else, Pokemon ZA, yes, I do appreciate they show gameplay footage. See, like, they get a lot of flack for it, and some of it is deserved, but, you know, you're seeing what you're getting in the game. Yeah, I hope horde of faceless men.
They're not doing all this pre-rendered bullshit.
Here in this battle, hits the Bunnelby, then it becomes dazed. There's a little dizzy thing above it. It doesn't die, nor does it seem to have a health bar. So maybe it's sort of like ZA where you can like throw the ball immediately from behind or in the front, but you could like send your Pokemon at it, and instead of killing it, they'll daze it maybe, or maybe you can set it to like stun, because before
I think they said in the like after the trailer that you can they kind of showed you being able to like catch Pokemon even when you faint them or something like that.
Okay.
So that might literally be it. Like it's like this trickery to just kick
what
that
is
Bunnelby's ass.
this character flying on it? They throw their hands up in the air like for a Fortnite glider.
I saw that. Like,
they're just like floating.
Oh, I think it's their Rotom phone. That's what I'm assuming it is.
Oh man. Yeah, I was hoping it would be like other like Kalos. I think because now I'm at the point where like the Pokemon game isn't the thing I'm most excited for this year, that I could be like, man, this is kind of disappointing. I mean, like, I'm sure once I get my hands on it, it'll be different, but I don't know. Because, like, in a Pokemon game, for me, so much of it either needs to be really good or have a lot of new Pokemon. And this one doesn't really seem to have either. Maybe new Mega Forms, which is cool. But even when I played X and Y, I didn't necessarily fuck with the Megas.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I don't know why. Hold on. Would have to assume that all the Megas are in this game. But if not, if we're going to go down the line, then we got Kangaskhan, Absol, Sableye, Altaria, Charizard Y, Charizard X, Gardevoir, Ampharos, Gyarados. Were any of those the ones added in fucking Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire?
Yes. Like Sableye is Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Right. Absol probably.
Altaria, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we definitely are. So I was thinking at first maybe it's only X and Y Megas, but no, it seems to be like that doesn't seem to be a limiting factor.
Yeah.
I am curious. I don't know how they'll like fit like I don't know like Mega Rayquaza in this game. Or like Mega, like those kinds of Megas, but maybe in like some like kind of like post game, like.
Well, yeah, there's a little teaser at the end, like a little static. But I mean, at the very least, it's gonna tie up the X and Y stuff. That's been and then we're seeing this is different characters, but them eating at the cafe with their Eevee. Do you think if the fan base didn't dig into the code and learned about this, that they would be bringing it back? Like, do you think they care about it because it wasn't an X and Y, or do you think they care about it because this is still in the top 10, like, unsolved Pokemon mysteries?
Well, wait, what was the issue with the Eternal Flower Floette? Like,
it was in the code of X and Y, so it seemed like it was going to be a distribution event, and then it never came out. And everyone then would just be like, oh, okay, there was just a one-game thing and they didn't add it. I guess, like, that's just done. But then I think in Sun and Moon, within the code of the game, Eternal Flower Floette had, like, its own custom Z move or something like that. Its own custom, like, signature move, like a new signature move was added. So they thought, okay, well, so, like, multiple generations, they thought about using this as a distribution event, and then it just never came out. And this is, like, the Floette that shows up in the cutscene with AZ, I think. If I'm sure.
That seems to be the case. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now, and there was a move added to the game for Eternal Flower Flow. I think it has its own separate stat spread or something like that. They just never kind of distributed it.
Yeah.
And that, like I wouldn't be surprised if they finally kind of do it here.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of Kalos unsolved mysteries, and a big part of Legend Arceus' post-game was, like, going through you could do the Darkrai, side quest, or the Manaphy side quest. And I think Kalos has a decent amount of mythicals and legendaries, that now they could do something with the what's it called, Volcanion and the reactor in the desert that like you could see in the far off distance, but it's all locked.
Yeah,
like,
how far is that location from Lumio City? I forget. Dude, I only played X like once.
I don't know. That's a good point. Yeah, I really don't know. Lumio City looks fucking small. Like, this looks... I think that's what's getting me, is that this looks small.
Okay, well, on the bright side, yeah, like, I mean, the area where the power generator and stuff was right next to Lumios. Honestly, yeah. I think I can actually see them kind of, like, trying to... Like, definitely, I think Volcanion's going to be catchable. Yeah. I think they might, like hint at the power generator being involved, but they're probably not actually going to make you...
Because there was a lot of, like, Kalos mythicals that didn't really have... Was Magirna Kalos?
No, Magirna was Lola.
Okay, so it's, like, it's Volcanion, Hoopa...
why am I blanking on the other one?
What am I missing here? Volcanion, Hoopa, something. Diancie?
Diancie. That's
yeah. Do you think there'll be... Well, hold on. Let's see if there's any Pokemon post X and Y in this game. Because there's none that, like, none that I've recognized or noticed. Because, like, people think that Carbink and, like, Diancie have some kind of tie-in. And there could be something there, but...
They do, because there's, like, I think it's literally a part of the movie. Like literally, like, the Diancie movie, like, Carbink's involved. But I haven't watched the Pokemon movie.
Nothing seems beyond Gen 6.
The only Gen 7 thing, I think, that I see, just by, like, scrubbing it really quickly, is the 10% Zygarde. I think that was only added in Gen 7. Oh, I think I just saw there's Hisuian Sliggoo.
Okay.
It's 13 seconds in. It's right next to a Pokemon Center, I think. There's like a Hisuian
I did see that. I thought that was just a normal Sliggoo. It's weird that it's a Hisuian Sliggoo. Oh, no, that is Hisuian Sliggoo. That's strange. I think we have gotten all of the content, squeezed all of the content we could possibly out of this. The fact of the matter is, we just don't know too much about this game. And now that we know, we thought maybe going into this, or maybe I thought going into the Pokemon Presents, that we would like be shown everything and then they're like, oh, it's coming out in spring. But now they're saying late 2025, which isn't even a release date. It's just saying late 2025.
Yeah.
So
I assume
like
November, but like I feel like if they really expected November, I don't know why they wouldn't say it, because that November seems to be a generally like common time for them to release games.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they're not saying it.
Unless they just don't have a release date. It could get delayed like Arceus did.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's already after. Maybe you're right. Maybe the Switch 2 does release in the holiday and not in like the summer or something. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. That way I can get all my fucking Switch games in.
I thought they might have said like it was coming out in like July, but I think that was just like me misremembering, or that was like what people.
They didn't say anything yet, but the hands-on where you can go to like different locations and play the Nintendo Switch, the hands-on experience, they end in like June. Like they keep being held in different countries up through June. And when this happened with the Switch, the final one that happened in like Hong Kong or something happened the same week the Switch came out. I think regardless, we're gonna get a release date in the April Direct. Maybe we see more about Legends ZA in that Direct, but it's not a Switch 2 game, so probably not. If that is, okay, so that Direct is fully a Switch 2 Direct. Do you think we're going to see anything about Metroid Prime 4?
Probably not.
I was hoping we would come out of this at least with, like, release dates, but we don't have anything now. Just holiday. We knew it was coming out 2025.
Oh, wait, no, I'm stupid, dude. Never mind, that was just a normal Sliggoo.
Was it really?
Sliggoo has that, like, yeah, I forgot.
It has a shell? Okay, well then...
a small little shell. That's my bad.
Well then, nothing beyond Kalos thus far.
Nope, that's it.
My final thoughts is... Knowing it's coming out holiday 2025 is the same thing as knowing it's coming out in 2025. More or less, right? Because they couldn't hold off or hold earlier to say it.
Yeah,
we still don't know the release date of Metroid Prime 4. This truly means we're going to be in the dark until April 2nd. So now we just have to make it through the entirety of March, and then the Switch 2 Direct. I wouldn't mind the Switch 2 coming out maybe holiday itself. It's weird that it would, like, clash with Legends ZA. Like, it comes out the same time. Mm-hmm. Unless they, like, enhance it on the Switch 2, but I don't know. I feel like it might get in the way a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's a kind of makes me curious, because this is, like, the first time, what I would assume in a long time, that, like, they announce a Pokemon game and it doesn't come out that year. Or maybe I think Legends Arceus might have been announced at, like, Pokemon Day, and then it came out, like, the following January. But, like, we're really looking at, they announced ZA a year ago.
Did they really? Oh, it was last Pokemon Presents. Yeah.
I think it did.
Yeah, that was the last Pokemon
which,
Presents.
Which is like kind of nuts to think about, especially because like that's we're probably looking at like 18 months from the announcement to the release, which is like totally different than what they've been doing for a while now. So
I mean,
like,
if Legends ZA is like disappointing in any way, I hope it just means that there's more time being funneled into Gen 10 and whatever they're doing for the Switch 2. Because I feel like Switch 2 is going to be more powerful, but like hardware-wise, they don't need to start from scratch. They don't need to relearn. Like it's not going to be the jump from 3DS to Switch. Like it's a lot easier, I presume.
Yeah, no, I assume that as well. I mean, it seems to just be like a Switch with like higher like processing power, a little bit more kind of juice to it. So I think like it's not going to be that much more difficult to develop for. Like, the same way that like Switch, like 3DS, a Switch was. One thing that I'm curious about now that I think about it is like where's Gen 10? Because not because I like necessarily think they should do it this year. I think one thing people have been saying recently is that maybe they should take a little bit more time to release new games, because I think frankly Pokemon Game Freak has been infamous these past like literally like 8 years for having these very like clunky, not very well optimized games that honestly kind of feel a little unfinished. I'll be real with you.
Sure, that's fair.
And because of that, like, I think people have had this habit of saying they should take more time. And they might literally be taking more time if we're going to get Gen 10 in a traditional sense.
I think the last 4-year gap between generations was Gen 4 and 5, I'm pretty sure. Because everything after that was 3 years, I think. So it's 2010.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit different back then, just because games were coming out like at different times between Japan and North America.
Right.
But yeah, no. Diamond and Pearl came out in Japan September of 2006. And I'm pretty sure Black and White came out September of 2010. So we haven't had this since Gen 4 to 5.
And then Gen 6 onward, they started releasing globally at the same time. And then it went.
Yeah, every 3
Gen
years.
6 was 2013. Or sorry, Gen 5. No, Gen 7 was 2016. Gen 8 was 2019. Gen 9 was 2022. So, 2025 would be if we're following the 3-year. So, this is the first 4-year gap since Gen 4 to 5, which I hope means it's going to be the best it can be. I don't mind waiting if it's going to be fantastic and last me a long time. And quite honestly, like already this year, maybe I'm getting my hopes up, but even like aside from Doom, Dark Ages, or Monster Hunter, or Deltarune, if this is the Switch 2 launch year, they gotta be launching with something crazy. I feel like we're setting ourselves up for disappointment. Maybe it doesn't launch with anything at all. Like, it's a gimmick game, and maybe like a Mario, I don't know. 3D Mario is all I care about, but we might not. Yeah. I think it's kind of a lock, but I don't know.
I have my fingers crossed for a 3D Mario.
Yeah.
Just because it's, well, I mean, I guess like
we know Mario Kart at the very least.
Yeah, I think Mario Kart is probably going to be a launch. I don't think they'd show it off if it wasn't going to be a launch title. It's the only game they actually showed off. I think like I would be, I think honestly, it feels like people have had the same conversation for every direct for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Like I don't really get disappointed in the same way I used to, because I think, it's, they're never gonna like stick, kind of like do exactly what you want them to, and it's just that's not a thing that happens. I think people need to kind of keep that in mind. And the reason I say that is because I will actually be kind of disappointed if they don't, come out with a 3D Mario game, or at least kind of announce one. It just seems, Odyssey 8 years ago this year. It seems like a little nuts, in my opinion, for Odyssey for like there not to be a new 3D Mario game in any capacity. So I guess Galaxy was 2007, Odyssey was 2017. But you could argue
and even
3D World and
even
3D
the same team, like even if you look at like they were working on other stuff. Even like Bowser's Fury was 2021, which was 4 years ago.
Yeah,
and that wasn't even a full game. I think if we're looking towards like the future of 3D Mario, I think it's probably an amalgamation of Odyssey and Bowser's Fury, where they were using that as a tech demo to try like open world, like you can go in any of these different zones just by walking. And I think it'll be more like that, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Switchy.